Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Building Better Societies here on 93.9 FM WRWK. And today we are downtown Petersburg in a beautiful park. And we are talking with Algie Smith, who is the founder of A City Not Divided. Algie, tell me, how did you come up with that name and why?
Honestly, the name just came to me. God. I talk about God a lot in everything I do. It just came to me. I'm from Petersburg, Virginia, by way of DeWitt, Virginia. My hometown, Petersburg. It's actually divided in a sense of leadership, in the sense of officials, the distance from community to those leadership. It's a disconnect. And myself, I'm here to create a dialogue. And a city not divided is what we shall be, Petersburg. We are coming together, myself, Brandy Jarman, Barb Rudolph, Belinda Ball, and we're forming a collective citizens committee, so to speak. Today we're going to present a contract to the city officials, not to get their approval, but to let them know that we know who we are and we stand together, united, and we want basic human rights. We want fair water bills. We want to be treated like we are who we are, human beings, God's children. And we are a city not divided, Petersburg, Virginia. We have a clothing drive, a city not divided, Birds Kids for Clothes. We have a city not divided, fresh to you produce. We go to the local farms around the area and we bring that produce to those food desert areas in the city. And the bottom line is, the city not divided is it's you, it's me. It's you, it's you, it's you. Together, black, white, young, old, gay, it doesn't matter. We don't leave anyone out. And if you love God the way I love God, and you have to see human beings for who they are. And when you do that, you're willing to give. You're willing to go a night without sleep. You're willing to go without food, you know, because someone else doesn't have it.
Algie, I noticed you said, you had told me previously that it was started on when? May the 20th?
5/30/2020.
5/30/2020. And how did that get started?
I basically went on Facebook, and initially my son showed me the George Floyd video, and I never look at those videos.
How old is your son?
He's 16. I'm 38 years old. My son's 16, and I have a 4-year-old son as well. Great young men, future leaders, definitely.
They got a good role model.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. The day of the protest, I just tweeted out through Facebook, DM, whatever, that we were having a peaceful protest, because I knew that's what I wanted. And I know Petersburg has a stigma for being negative, or being nasty, raunchy, dirty, and I wanted to get that taste out of people who don't live in the city of Petersburg mouth. And on that day we did. It was just me for about an hour or two. And after the rain, I looked up and it was about 20, 30 more people. By the time the sun went down, it was about 150 people. And we marched across the Martin Luther King Bridge in Petersburg, Virginia, that's adjacent to Colonial Heights. And that's when it started. It was a beautiful thing. That one night, that passion, that rain, I wanted to give up, man. I was going home. No one came out. 2 hours, I got called outside my name for holding a sign up that said, "I can't breathe." A Caucasian lady drove by and said, "Well, die then, nigger." You know? And I'm like, this is where I live. This is where my kids go to school. Like, are you serious? I would have walked past this lady in the store and not even assumed that she felt that way about me. But I knew I had to do something at that moment. I knew I had to. And standing on the corner, I was just watching the people, and I saw Miss Yolanda Mills, who's over there now, who I call Mama Bear, who's helped me through a lot of things. And I saw a lot of other people, other races. I saw Bob Rudolph. She had her own thing going on. And it's just God that we all came together, because these people saw me from afar and I saw them up close and personal, and they're my team. Bob Rudolph, Brandy Jarman, Yolanda. I just love it that it all happened the way it happened.
Can I have Yolanda to say something? We have been talking a little earlier. Yolanda was like sharing a little bit of history. Can I come have you? Can I have you to speak, Yolanda?
Mama Bear.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's Mama Bear.
That's my Mama Bear. Yeah.
All right.
Be gentle.
As lovely as possible.
Yeah, be nice to me.
How you doing, Mama Bear?
How are you? I'm great.
That's awesome. Mama Bear, you were saying a little earlier about the way the city was. When did it come divided? Share that with me, please.
I believe many years ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago, it began to rapidly decline. And it's like all of the resources fled. Seems like every resource for the children fled. There's not even so much as street lights that operate in the city right now. There are very few. Even on major streets in the city, you barely have lighting. You know, the tall post lights, you barely have that now. And it's like the damage in the streets, the bridges needing repair, the overgrown grass everywhere, dilapidated buildings, just structural damage throughout the city. And a city not divided really amazes me and inspires me, because when I met Algie, he was starting the first march that Petersburg had in 60 years. It took 60 years.
How long?
60 for a march to take place, for a protest in Petersburg. The last march in Petersburg was in 1960, before Martin Luther King was killed.
Wow.
It took that one spark, Algie Smith, to show how much people had pain and compassion. Over 700 showed up. I counted 500, but the media said it was 7. So it just restored my faith in Petersburg. And it really touched my heart that I saw so many people who love that city like I did. You know? And so I'm really excited that Algie got this movement going. And I promise you, we're going to see great changes. We're going to demand the city be held accountable, including the mayor, and that's why we're offering this proposal today to him. And he can sign it or not. He can agree or not, and if he doesn't, he'll wish he had. Because we will show up at his house, on his lawn.
So in other words,
He will do what we're paying him to do. Yes.
So in other words, you are really getting rid of the people.
They need to go fast. They need to go fast.
And that's your right.
They need to go fast.
That's your right as a voter, right?
Yes, absolutely. They need to go now. Already go. You've had your chance to get it right. You have not. You have failed us. And when you work for someone and you don't do the job, you get fired or you leave. It's time for them to go. Thank you very much.
Yolanda,
Somebody's calling me. I gotta go. But thank you so much. I gotta help set things up. Thank you so much.
We just heard from Yolanda. Yolanda laughed because she said she was like a yo-yo, and I see now she is a yo-yo. She throw it out there and she bring it back, and she bring it to on point. I believe we have another individual that we want to talk to. The young lady there in the yellow. Can we have you to come in and speak? Yes, yes. This is awesome. I love it.
thank you.
Hi, how you doing?
good.
What's your name?
Barb Rudolph.
Bob Rudolph.
Yeah.
Why did you join this march? You saw this man standing out there all by himself.
Oh,
Why did you decide to join? And besides, you white too?
Well, yeah, I am white. I changed that. I'm glad you noticed.
I love it.
Actually, Algie and I missed out on the march she was describing. I did go to another one, but as soon as this movement started, I began watching it. I guess I was kind of looking at him, and he was looking at me. Engaging, educating people about city government.
Okay, what's the name of your
It's called
group?
Clean Sweep Petersburg.
Oh,
So
we clean sweeping it right
Yeah.
now.
So, I mean, a lot of what Yolanda said is music to my ears, because that's pretty much what our group has been looking at for the past 4.5 years. Anyway, I'm watching Algie. Algie's watching me, and
You can show you something to the front.
okay, sorry. And we are we found we had some common interests, and in particularly some of the folks who are running for political office. But one of the most interesting things to me is he named his group A City Not Divided.
I like
and
that.
One of the items in the logo for my group is like like a circle with a line through it, meaning no. You know that symbol?
Yeah.
And one of the items under the no is divided city.
Right.
So it's like that's saying a city not divided.
That's right.
We're looking at the same thing, which is there are people, as he pointed out, whether it's race, age, gender, orientation, economic status, where they live in the city, we all need to come together.
Yeah.
And
Unity.
that's the power.
Unity.
That's the power of this, and that's what is our leaders, our elected leaders are afraid of that power. They want us to be separate. They want us to be at odds with one another.
What you call it, if I'm not mistaken, it's called divide and conquer.
Exactly.
But when
Divide and conquer is it.
you come together as a unit,
Yeah.
guess what? And join force,
Right.
nothing can stop you.
That is
You're
so true.
unstoppable.
That
And
is
we
so true.
putting the word out
Oh,
there
good.
today. We putting the word out there today on WRWK that we are coming together in unity. We are not going to be divided, and we're going to move forward with power.
We are not going to be divided.
Not divided. And we're going to provide employment,
Yes,
empowerment, and a special community engagement.
And we're gonna watch out for the children. Because right now,
Awesome.
I mean, even I've lived here 40 years, and I've seen just what the city has that's declined. I mean, it's gone from, some more things going on in the parks, more activities for kids, whether it was city provided or private provided. Those things have gone away, and it's never talked. I go to every city council meeting. Okay. I watch them close. They know me, and they don't talk about that. They don't talk about the violence in the city.
Oh,
No, they are so busy finding who they can make deals with.
Ooh.
So I won't even start on that topic right now.
Well, she started and I'm going to finish
Go
it.
ahead.
A City Not Divided, we create change today in order to inspire the generations of tomorrow. So that's getting back on the subjects of the kids that they were just talking about. It's the younger generation that we're after here in Petersburg.
And you're the leader. You're the one that is stirring that spark up and bring it together.
Yes.
I am the leader. I take that responsibility and those consequences, repercussions, whatever comes with it. But God leads me, and God led me to start a clothing drive, to start a Fresh to You food drive, to sit down with Barb, to sit down with Yolanda, and all of these people of mixed backgrounds and mixed generations and whatever you want to call it.
Diversity.
Diversity.
Yes.
And we're just here to just create. I just want to create a change.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
All right. This is awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I believe we have another individual that just came up.
Really?
We have another individual like to speak about your part. What you want to do is bringing this.
Speaking.
I think she left. Brandy.
Oh, Brandy.
Brandon Lee.
Yeah, I think she's.
You're a citizen of Petersburg, yes ma'am.
Come on.
Let me make
Yes.
space.
Yes.
A citizen.
Come on. A citizen.
Let me just say, we don't know what ward she's from. We don't know what part of Petersburg she's from. We don't care what race she is. It's the fact that she's here and she said, I'm a citizen, and now she's going to speak to you, the masses. Again, this ward system that we have in the city of Petersburg, 1st ward, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, all these councilmen, we need to uplift that, throw it away, just make one Petersburg, and then we have a whole, that's the divider, all of those lines in these wards, because that's your power, right? Mr. Darren Hill, or Sam Pern, or Howard Myers, or whoever you people is. I'm naming all the bad peoples just to let you know, the negative people in Petersburg.
Exposure.
You want exposure? Now I'm giving it to you on the radio and on a TV show. I'm giving it to you. Stop cutting people water off during the pandemic.
Woo!
That's not morally right, let alone is that's just not right.
Woo!
You understand me? My water bill is $30 one month, then the next month is $60 one month, then the next month is $120. But Barb tells me hers is $200. But somebody else tells me theirs is $310 and they out of town for the whole 3 months. Come on now, stop playing with this money. That CARES Act money, you're gonna spend that money on these kids. You're gonna open them centers up. You're gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna let this lady, the sun is shining on me and it's bright and it's hot right now. I wanna say a whole lot. Thank you, Jesus.
My name is Bessie Hendricks. I just have a concern about the kids. I do a lot
in the school system. And I just don't think it's enough in this city that they do for the youth. It's a lot of stuff that can be uplifted, and everybody's just lazy about anything that needs to be done
That's
for
right.
us as citizens of Petersburg.
All right.
That's right.
And I agree with you.
You have heard the citizen in Petersburg has spoken. You got the message. And now what are you going to do? You, as you know, these are voters. These are people who put you in office. And they are the people who can take you out.
So who do they call?
Who do they call? Who do they call?
804
Back up there. Get back up there.
804
243
243
8529.
8529. Call for action. Call for to bring forth changes.
A city not divided at outlook.com.
All right.
And if you see the mayor of Petersburg, let him know the package bags, he's about on his way out. Thank you very much, y'all. Be blessed and go vote. Go vote.
Go vote. That's the only way you can make things happen is to vote.
You ready to close? Give your final word.
Okay, as you can see, we are down here. That is WRWK 93.9 The Works. And we are here taking a stand with Petersburg because we believe building better societies. And that is bringing a very healthy city comes together in unity and with force. Thank you. And until next time, this is Building Better Society with Liz Charity. Bye-bye.
All right.
Now, let me ask you this. Talk to me a little bit about this A City Not Divided, this C3 agreement, collective community contract that you have with the city. What are you proposing?
Well, basically, it's just like the first one says. It's
For those who don't have a copy of it in their hands, tell us about it.
it's a collective community contract, meaning myself, Bob Rudolph, Brandy Jarman, people from different backgrounds and ethnicities get together, and we came up with these rules. These are rules that every citizen, not only in Petersburg, but the world, should have to live by. You know?
Tell me about the contract. What are the demands? What are you asking the city?
Commitment to basic human rights is the first one. Access to drinking water, fresh foods, which we're already participating in, which we're already doing on our own. See, let me tell you, these things right here, these things are what the city should already be doing.
But they're not.
Absolutely not.
So I need you to tell us about this.
We need citywide elections for our mayor. I can't have a councilman that's buddy-buddy with the city councilman, and this councilman elect this man to be the mayor, so now they all buddies. They keep that money in their own pockets. And these police officers and firefighters and teachers that come and try to teach our kids and try to protect and serve us, we need some incentive programs for them. First of all, they need to do community service before they even come to my neighborhood where I live. How can you patrol me, or how can you drive on any of these streets when you don't even know where you at? So get some community service under your belt. That first should be a requirement for all Petersburg police officers or firefighters. Go through that training first. Don't go through your training or your little book that's been here since history. No, go through ours as a citizens. Collectively, we're saying go through some community service training.
Community policing.
Community policing.
Community
that's what
policing.
we're doing.
And that's when they actually get involved with making the difference.
But see, when we get
lives.
involved, we want to make our own committees then. See, then they get worried because it's one of me. But then I'm here and then I'm there and I'm everywhere. But that's the whole point. It's a community. It's not yours. I don't care that you got elected and now you think
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I need to know more about the issues. I need to know more about the contract that you are asking to have with your elected officials.
It's not about the elected officials at this point. Can I take this 1 second? It's not about them, see? Because if it was about them, it'll be them here, and it'll be 100 other people, Wayne Cover from the news, everyone will be here, but they're not here. So this right here, this small group, whether it grow by 8 o'clock or not, we're gonna read this off. list by list. We need programs. We need understanding between the LGBT community and the people that are not in that community. People do not need to be feeling like they're in a box or they're in a corner and they can't engage with other people in their own community. Back to the community service things with the police officers. It's simple. Do some community service, get in the neighborhood, go to the schools, interact with the kids that you're going to be actually policing at some point. Recreation, we have no recreation departments in Petersburg. Not one is open right now. And I, along with some people that I went to school with, found a homeless man under a bridge.
I saw that.
I took him in.
Tell me about that.
His name is Callie. He's been under the bridge for a couple months now. Only thing he had on him was an ID and all his trash under a bridge. And
so are you saying that the city don't have anything in place for that?
The city, absolutely. The city of Petersburg does not have a men's shelter.
Hold it,
Absolutely
right there. Let me ask this question. Right here on East Sycamore Street, there is a abandoned building that used to be a nursing facility. What is it being used for now?
Like the many other buildings in Petersburg that are abandoned? Nothing.
Nothing?
Absolutely nothing. Or what about the hotels that are out there right now that are boarded up?
That building that you were talking about, the abandoned building?
Yeah.
They were actually going to take that building and sell it. And then all of a sudden the deal fell through. So the city never made anything on that.
Enough money wasn't given. That's all.
What about Peabody?
They're going to let that fall
Historic
apart.
black school.
What happened to
They're
Peabody?
letting it fall apart.
They're letting
They
it
just
fall
stole
apart.
the sports complex for $10 yesterday. Day before yesterday.
They did what?
The brand new sports complex. Come on, Barb. This is where Barb comes in. See, let me just first say this about Barb. See, it's a lot of riffing between her group, Clean Sweep, and my group of City Not Divided, and Petersburg citizens. That race card, because she's a white lady and I'm a black man, you should see it right here. We're working together. So you're on the outside and you're calling race, she's a racist? Absolutely not. I'm at this lady's house more than I'm at my own house. And she's going to tell you right now about these blocks and schools and vacant buildings being sold for pennies, literally. And then grass grown up and then they're just sitting there and it's just abandonment. But at the same time, I'm taking care of this homeless man on my own through the community. But we can't get one of these abandoned hotels and then and then it's a program. We get them in there for 90 days and we put them through a system or something like that. That's all I'm trying to do. It's a lot of abandoned buildings. Sell me one for $10 as a City Not Divided.
Go.
But in other words, I mean, I want to know how can
She gonna talk about Peabody.
not to ask this question. How can you, as a citizen, get one of those buildings for $10?
Until the city offers it, we
I
can't.
think the answer is
That's
you have
it.
to know the mayor or the former mayor.
That's what I wanted to get
That's
out.
the way it appears
That's what I want to
be.
get out. In
Now,
other
if
words,
there's-
that's the reason why this city is divided.
If there's
Big
another
bad
way,
Sam
if there's
Fern.
another way
Yes.
that it happens, it's invisible to us. Now, going back to your question about Peabody. Peabody, as Jim said, the city is not taking care of it. It's deteriorated. It was given back by the school division to the city. Now, there's a group of people who are Peabody alums from the days when Peabody was the high school, that are trying to use it as a school resource to partner with Virginia State, a whole lot of initiatives. The city's not working with them. I don't know all the reasons, but this involves former Mayor Annie Mickens, Julian Green, and Ralph Bowling. So if you all ever want to do an interesting show about some ideas, go look those folks up.
We will.
Now back on the subject of selling things. For whatever reason, these folks who have the inroads with the mayor and the former mayor, they propose that they're going to buy things for $10. Now the sports complex, which is out there where the baseball team used to play, it's not sold yet. There's going to be a public hearing, so we have our voice. But, you read it, they're selling it for $10. It's assessed at $3.3 million by the city. They're selling a $3.3 million property that's not blighted, in spite of what it says on the purchase agreement. It's not blighted. It's been recently kept up. They're going to sell that for $10. The buyer will have up to 4 years to exercise an option to buy it, and the city's going to pay the closing costs. Now, if you all have bought any real estate, closing costs cost thousands of dollars. If you have, there's loan origination fees, recording fees, all this mess. The city's going to pay for that and then sell it for $10. I mean, I don't even understand how they can make that sound like it's doing anything for the city and the people. it's doing a lot for the buyer, and the buyer in this case is Trey Songs, who's a son of Petersburg, who's a famous person.
What is he gonna do with it?
That's
what was his proposal?
I don't know. They haven't told us that yet. It's just he's gonna. In the case of AP Hill Community Center, which is another property on the list, it's said that he won't make that into a community center or improve it, which would be wonderful because that's what it was being used as, but it's just gone to seed. Now, and we don't know what he's going to do with the sports complex or the ball field.
Let me ask this question.
I mean, Titmus Optical. Yes, sir.
You have the first black female president of Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
What is the Chamber of Commerce doing in the city?
I don't know. I mean, they did come along and they had a forum right after, I think in response to Algie March and other things. They had that forum. It was pretty good, and they said they were going to come back and do another one. They didn't.
They didn't.
No.
Okay, we're gonna have to do a follow-up.
I know we could do
a follow-up.
And I have friends.
And I will help you do a follow-up.
Okay,
and
good.
we'll be there to videotape the whole thing.
Yeah, because we're going to do something. It's not going to be. We're not going to listen to all that about everybody's history. Let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about what's because you hear, common thing you're hearing today. Everybody's saying things have gone downhill.
Yeah.
I mean, the city, it's not what it was 10 years ago and 20 years ago. The people haven't changed that much. It's the leadership. The leadership seems to, they're not looking out for the people, and a lot of the people have given up. Honest, they have. I mean, and some of that's the water bills. You remember 4.5 years ago, City Council, they turned out 400 or 500 people at a meeting. I don't know if you all were paying attention to that. This is in February of 2016. There was a huge amount of public interest. People came from all over the city, and they demanded that the city do something about the city manager. We ended up, they fired the city manager. But I guess that gave the city leadership, they're like, whoa, we dodged a bullet now. We got rid of this person that's the target of everyone's displeasure, and now we're just going to go back and say we're going to fix it. So we've had an interim city manager, the Robert Bob Group, and the current city manager, all of that over the past 4.5 years.
Wait a minute, Robert Bob?
Robert Bob Group was here for
Millions
a year.
of dollars were spent with Robert Bob.
So
what did Robert Bob do?
He was supposed to, he got us out of financial problems, which is what was going on in 2016.
So what did he do?
I do think they averted us from having, not being able to pay our employees. That's where they were headed. It was so bad that they were going to, and maybe within another month, not be able to make payroll to city employees, and that's pretty bad. I mean, my career is as a finance person, and the worst thing you can do as a finance director is to not pay your employees. That is the worst thing.
I know.
Whether it's public or private.
I'm in accounting myself.
You know, so you know what I mean.
I know
it's
exactly
like your payroll person is the person that you are going to. Like when I worked in one job, we went in a snowstorm where we were closed. My husband with a 4-wheel drive truck, we went to her apartment and picked her up so we could work, even though we were closed, because that was how we paid the people. That's how important it is. So the city was messing with that. They were robbing people's retirement accounts, Virginia retirement system, which the city belongs to. City employees' retirement contributions were being used to pay for other things. So it took. The Robert Bob Group was involved with trying to right some of that and turn that around, and they succeeded partially. Now we hear all this about, the city's financial status is great. We've got $8 million balance as of a year ago. That sounds so good, but then I hear people telling me that the city can't pay its bills.
Exactly.
That around town. There's some disconnect. There's some disconnect.
The grant money's been assigned for specific things. You can't take grant money that's assigned for building parks, or parks and rec, and use that for street lighting. Okay?
Right.
You can't use federal money or state money for that. It has to be used for what it's designed for. What it was intended and requested for. If you use it for something else, you'll get in the world's trouble. And my question is, the care fund and all this other fund, where were they used? Because it was supposed to go towards the water bill.
Right.
But yet the fire station's been completely redone in no time after you shut it down and said you're not going to open it.
Well, they did. The city was going to shut the fire department down because they didn't have enough money. And because it was so terrible, then all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute.
After this lady
election
right here,
time,
right?
Election time, we gotta lickety split. Get this place cleaned up because we know that the firefighters are very activist. You know, they make their voices heard better than other city employees because most of them are afraid. Anyway, that's another story. But the deal is
So like wrap it up.
okay.
What are your next plan? Action.
I mean, as Algie was saying about the contract, I mean, part of this,
You could
this
be able
is,
to take this to
well,
the
this
mayor.
this is our first shot at exposing it to the public and
Okay,
talking
you're
about it. And
supposed
we appreciate you all, you know, making the effort to come here and talk about it and give it some exposure. But
Yes.
that's what we're working with. Now we're still building alliances with other groups, and that's
Okay.
you know, and that's some of that's not necessarily for discussion, public
No,
discussion.
no,
but
we
we're
don't
doing
want
it.
to. We
You
don't
know
want to do that. We
But
don't want to put
it's-
that out there because that's
That's
we're
strategy.
paying. That's strategy. Yes, you have to strategize in order to make it work.
Exactly. So right now we're building support. We're trying to encourage people to get active. That's the key.
All right.
I mean, I love your enthusiasm. So you know, bring some people in who want to
I do. I have a whole group. That's the reason why I'm here.
Okay, well, it's wonderful.
To partner with you.
Yes, it's excellent. Thank you.
Really to partner with you. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that's our whole goal. Ours is called the CHUBBS. CHUBBS, that's CHUBBS.
Okay.
CHUBBS, that
Chub-
means clean, means community health.
Health. I was going to say.
Community health and united, building better society.
Wow, that's wonderful.
So that's our goal. Is we're starting one in Richmond, and our next goal is to start one here, and to deal with guess who, the youth.
Well, see how there's all these synergies and relationships between these things because we all have a piece of trying to make things better.
That's
My
it.
thing, you can tell. I mean, when I get on this stuff, I follow the money and what the government does. Other
Yeah.
people are following other things.
And what I did like about that is you're using policy. You know, policy making. In other words, you're putting it on paper.
Right.
And you submitting it, which means that they have to take some kind of action, one way or the
Well,
other.
we know we want to prove our commitment as citizens. This is what we're committed to. These are the things we deserve. And as Algie said, it starts with basic human rights.
That's it.
And it goes from there into some things that are kind of technical and some things that are just like universal, like saying everybody needs food, access to food. They need a place to live that's safe. They need water.
And we want to be able to come and be a part of your strategy.
Okay, super.
So I would say very close with
Thank you.
Algie.
He needs to come back, doesn't he?
Yeah, so we can sort of wrap this up. I want to say, hey, Algie, come so we can wrap this up.
Come on.
Y'all had a nice long conversation
Yes,
over here.
Algie.
Did y'all ever get back to Peabody? I was just thinking.
Yeah, we did. We did
Oh, okay,
get a little
all
bit
right.
about
Wanted to make
Peabody.
sure.
But what I want to do is I want you to meet a group of my young people that we're working with,
Awesome.
and they are little entrepreneurs.
Me as well.
That's
Rosebud
what
Creations.
that's what
I
I'm
have my
talking about.
sweets over
Come
there
on,
now.
come on. Give me five.
Absolutely.
And you know what entrepreneurs do, right?
What's that?
They turn a mess into a blessing.
I like that. Turn a mess into a blessing.
And that's what you're doing.
I like that.
You like that?
I can see that.
Yes.
Definitely.
And we're going to do that. You are a social entrepreneur.
Social entrepreneur.
You're a social entrepreneur,
I like
and
that.
social entrepreneurs turn a black
Agent of change.
Yes, that's what you are.
An agent of change.
That's what you
Absolutely.
are. And
like
I
that.
just want to thank so much
No,
for
thank you for the opportunity.
for giving me the opportunities to come there. But we are definitely come partners. Come on.
Absolutely.
We
working
become partners
together.
again. Yes. Come on, let's get this. Yes.
All right.
All right. Absolutely. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right.